Hey, welcome back to another edition of Something Something Special. Today, guys, I'm going over my favorite blues player, Stevie Ray, and the style that he used when he ripped those licks. So I'm focusing on the way he played his licks, at least some of the things he did, and some cool things he was known for doing, and we'll get you to do some of them too. So today I'm going to show you the Stevie Ray Vaughan style of blues. So let's get right into it. The man was a god, or something slightly less. Really check him out if you're into any kind of heavy guitar playing. That dude is sick. And he was the first blues shredder. He played it at phenomenal speeds and just ripped. And his live performances were just, at the time they were like unmatched. The guy was bringing it to a whole new level at the time, and I love him. And he just writes awesome music. And if you like the guitar, you would gotta love the guy. So I'm going to show those of you who love blues and his style a little bit about some of the things he does and the sounds he gets. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. And some of that also meaning we're going to discuss how to get his sound when you set your guitar up. So that no matter what equipment you're using, I guarantee you we can get you at least closer to his sound than you are right now. So at least, no matter what you're playing on or what kind of amp you've got, we'll get you to do the same. We'll get you to at least do the same characteristics or create the same characteristics in your sound that he was using, so you can get really close to what he was doing. Some of you might be able to get spot on. I'm pretty close with the generic stuff that I'm using here. I use my own guitar, my Mezzy Schroeder signature guitar with Dean, because I use the DMT dime time. This is the DMT something or other. I forget what they call it. It's their neck pickup. I think it might be called Dime Time. I forget. I think this might be a Dime Time in my neck. I really don't remember. But this one here is my own Mezzinator pickup that I designed with them, and I got my name's on the back, and you can order it if you really want to pester them for it. You just tell them you want the Mezzinator pickup, they'll sell it to you. Because it's basically it's the Bill Lawrence pickup on steroids. That's really what it is. And you get that with the magnet pole pieces here, not the slant that they have on the other one. The magnet goes straight across magnet. That's great. I like it and all. People say it's better for bending, supposedly. Like, they always have to have a reason why something's different if it's better. They say that when it's not, to me, it's hogwash. But what their theory is with the streamline across the pickup, when you bend the string, the magnet is over the string all the time, and you get an equal amount of sound or some shit. Like equal amount of whatever the string's doing across the magnets, because supposedly if you in between them, you're not going to get as good a sound if you, I don't know, right, like stop the string there or something. It's kind of like ridiculous, but that's what they say. They got to make something up, right? So go tell somebody with a whole piece pickup that their sound sucks because it's not because it's not the stream, that straight across magnet style, whatever you call that, I forget. But this is what I wanted, and this is what they made me, because I think these are the best. So this is the style of pickup that every Soul of Sounds is where it's at. That's why this one that they created is for the Dime Time is the same way. So anyway, you need if you have a humbucker set up, flip your switch, get up on the neck. If you're on a single coil Fender style guitar, because you played a Fender, get up on the neck. He's up. The neck is where you're going to want to be on any guitar. That's the bottom line. Flood the tone, flood it open to 10, all the way to God. Same thing with your volume, push it all the way to 10, because he pushes pickups with the volume. So we start there. The next thing you do is if you're on a clean channel, you've got some sort of a drive gain, something or other that you can blend into your clean, just like you would do it on your dirty channel. So you're going to blend some of that in, and so you're going to get what's not a dirty sound, but definitely not a dry clean, because that's not dry. Before we even get to the reverb, the drive should be somewhere, I don't know, 2, 3 o'clock. Because you can notice a little bit of bleeding there. It's not super dry like this, because this would be extremely dry. We don't want this. That's not Stevie's tone. So if you're on dry like that, you got to get it away from that. You got to go to something where you've got some drive in the clean. There's Stevie's tone. Hey, it's right there. There it is. Stevie, are you coming into my fingers or what? Stevie, if you're up there, come down into my fingers and make some noise. I studied him a lot. I love his playing, and there's some of it right there. The man was known for the multiple pull-off king. He was the multiple pull-off king. And his alternate picking amongst the pentatonic boxes was just crazy. I mean, I don't know how the guy developed that much skill, just over practicing like me, maybe something like that. So now that you've got some of the tone going, to finish off the tone, you want your bass in the deeper zone, not in the lesser zone. So like 3 o'clock or above, you want that bass overtone. Mids, you want them a little high, but you don't want them too high, so they don't go past 3 o'clock. Somewhere between like 1 and 3, 1 and 4 would be where he sets it. And then treble, you crank it all the way. Just let it rip open, because he's got them single coils. And the same thing on the humbucker. You want just all out highs. You want it coming out. You want those highs coming out. And then you want a little bit of reverb, folks. You got to have the reeve. You're just going to set yours till you have a slight ring after. So you can hear it a little bit. Because that's how he was. Because then it echoes a little bit. It's like clean channel delay, really like ancient style delay, like dinosaur delay, we call it DD. See how pull I do. There's a sound there, I try to get it sometimes. It's like a G or an A. It's my F sharp. So if you want to grab an extra whole step out of your guitar and be lazy with it, just do this. You get the F sharp right there. Okay, so now that we understand how his tone is, and now you've got some tone, Stevie loved the E minor box. That was his favorite spot. He typically played a half step down to use 12s and 13 strings. The guy was a beast. I just use 9s. I don't know, man. I like 9s. I like to be yanking on them too. But I'm a small dude. I'm only like 5'8", you know. He was like 6'9". He was a beast. So, of course, he wants 12s. The guy's like as tall as a doorway, you know. So what he does a lot of the time is just the stuff you see me doing. He does so he'll bend the A note in this box. He'll bend the A note up and he'll fold over like I was showing you in other videos. That's where I learned it from him. He does this all the time. He'll do that. And on that 5 before he takes off. So he's a big proponent of playing off the root and the 5, and he counters them. He'll land on the root, he'll vibrato that root, and then he'll vibrato that 5 of whatever chord he's playing. Also, if he's in E minor, he's going to root off of E and B. Root in 5th, so you'll see him play to the B note like I just did there. In fact, in Riviera Paradise, he does this, from 5 to the 1. Root from the E minor chord, the 5B, to the 1E. So again, he's playing off the 2 notes in the key. This E right here, he loves it. Now, Stevie's a huge fan of, you don't see it in the tabs, it's hard because they'll do like a pull-off thing for you. They'll put like 5-6 pull-offs in a row, and people go, how do you do that? And here's what he does. It's all pull-offs. Then he'll double back, go high, and then come back to the low E. Then he'll rip into a little 3-string rake. He loves the flatted 5. So Stevie Ray Vaughan is a humongous user of the flatted 5. Some guys use it less or more than others. You know, they'll use it here and there. Like Clapton used it here and there. Hendrix used it in his chord progressions a lot. Stevie Ray Vaughan throws the flatted 5 around in his licks as if he's getting paid a nickel every time he uses it. I mean, it's everywhere. Now, this is his favorite spot on a lot of those records. Why do you think that is? Why is he using this spot all the time? Could it be close to this? Which he uses all the time? Could be. Could very well be. Then there's another B flat where? Right here? He uses this one too a lot, but I think this one he uses a little more. But we're over here. You got the A, B flat B. D, E. You might as well just pull it, finish it off. So he'll do this a lot. He'll walk over the flatted 5 over here. Then take the E, take it to the A, take the A and bend it up, and resolve to the E. Depending on what mood he's in, if he's live, he'll do 2 of these or he could do 20 of them. He'll go on. The man can go on and on and on. I could probably make a mistake in there if I keep going. He'll do like 1,000 of them in a row and never make a mistake. If you watch him live, I'm telling you, he's insane to watch. You really should. If you don't know who he is and you're not a fan of him yet, you're not doing yourself a justice. If you want to be playing great guitar, watch that guy play. Now, here's some of those moves with the picking in there. So you got this. How I got that is I'm percussively using the pick with my thumb hanging over the string, so my thumb skin is muting the picking. Because you can't see me muting it anywhere else. So that's why in the last video I just shot, I explained to everybody about the pinch harmonic thing. You need skin to pick ratio for just about everything you do. So your thumb and your pick play together. And if they don't hit the string together, then you're missing something in your playing. Because your finger is the only thing that tells your brain what's going on the guitar. So if your finger's not touching the strings, then you're not playing right. And you're certainly not going to reach your best, whatever it is. You know, you're going to get like a portion of it, but you only have a couple of spots where you touch the guitar. Your fingertips over here, your thumb over here. That tells your brain where you are on the guitar, what's going on. Over here, where everybody's guitar has the strings apart a certain amount of millimeters. And so if you have 13 millimeters and the other guy has 12 and a half and you're used to 13, your brain knows 13 millimeters, folks. I'm sorry to say it, but you're not going to play 12 and a half millimeters apart on somebody else's guitar and play it as well as your own. Your brain will have to relearn how far apart 12 and a half is and get used to it so that you can play mistake-free on that guitar as well as when you play your own guitar. You know, it's like jumping on somebody else's bike or in somebody else's car or on somebody else's motorcycle. It just doesn't have the same feel. Not every machine feels the same. It's the same thing here. So just remember that, okay? Now, back in, bending to the 5 is something he does all the time. So start bending all your A's to B's wherever possible when you're in E minor. And then look for the E because you're going to go to the root. E. You always, let me explain something real quick. You always. Sometimes you hear we don't ever use that word always. We use it this time. Always. Pull to the root when you're using a pentatonic scale. You use the 5 as a resting spot, but it will not sound resolved until you get back to the root. So if you didn't know that and you're new to just cutting licks and you just happen to be catching this video, make all your notes end on an E when you're in E minor and use the B as a resting spot. Think of it as baseball. You can rest on the bases, but you certainly ain't going to stay there. You got to get home, buddy. Got to get home, or being on the base is a waste. Well, if you go to the 5 and you never go to the root, then it's a waste. For you newbies, you should be comparing the sounds of the same note in 2 different places. So you should be learning this little lick with the G note here. On my middle finger, there's my G. You should be learning this way. You should also be comparing this G to this G and making sure you can do the lick both ways. Be able to do both, or at least go. Now remember, I can't see the neck because I got that thing dipped over like this. If you want me to play something for you and just show you. Okay. There's that root of E. Here's your E minor chord. Here's the D for E minor 7. There's the root. Go up to B minor scale and B, D, E, F sharp A. Land on the E. Sometimes you just try a little extra thing, and then you can just throw in whatever you want as an extra thing. It's your music. You're an artist. There's no writer. There's no rules. So don't stay in the boxes, man. You got to go outside of them. That's why, it's like being a kid that creates, colors outside the lines. There's nothing wrong with that. Dimebag has a whole video he shoots in the bathroom after he took a freaking shower in some hotel room. And all the dudes got on, I think's a freaking towel when he's standing there with his camera telling you in the fucking mirror. Listen, man, doesn't have to be perfect, dude. It's art. Whatever you get's what you get. That's what makes it art. And that's what the dude was saying. So I'm telling you right now, don't look for perfection. Perfection, that's boring. We want to see what people really do in the natural state. That's the best. And that was what was great about Stevie. When the man cut a mistake or he heard something sour, he just rolled with it. Because believe me, he broke strings and shit didn't sound good all the time, but he still made it work, and that's what I'm saying. It's not going to be perfect every single time, or you're going to be like, I didn't mean to do that, but nobody will know. So you don't worry about perfection. You worry about enjoying it and having fun, and then it'll sound good. Now Stevie bends this D to the E all the time. Here's his style to bring it up, bring it down. So he bends it up, and then he brings it down and hits it again in its natural state before he goes to the 5. He doesn't do this. I mean, he does do that, but this is what you're going to hear more often. So you'll hear the straight pull off. Let's get that in there. You'll see this straight one. Again, down, down, up. I say that all the time. It's the number one thing you're going to use when you're in the pentatonic boxes. Down, down, up is the king of picking. It's the picking pattern you'll use the most, like 80% of the time. I'm not lying about it. Here it is again. If every time I can find it and point it out, I will show you down, down, up because it's so important. So, bottom line is you can do. That's what he does. And he's big on the vibrato. Oh, the other thing is when he does the pull off, sometimes he throws in the half. This is just a straight pull off to the note. Sometimes half the time he throws the hammer on pull off in. Then the fold over. Now I don't know what fingers he uses for a lick like this, where he's I use a pinky. I've seen guys use the ring because they got big, gigantic fingers. I got fat, meaty hands. I don't have the big, long fingers, so I just play it like this. But I'm not Paul Gilbert. I've seen Yngwie's fingers. He's got sausages. Mine are like small sausages. He's got extra large sausages. Paul Gilbert's got tentacles like an octopus, so he can play first fret to 12th, no problem. I can't do that stuff, so I have to play with my pinky. Some of you may have to do that. If you're a normal human being like me, you use your pinky. If you're godlike like those guys, you use your ring. I used my ring in there. I got caught it, right? I use it for vibrato, folks. I teach you, and there it is. I teach you in another video that you got to go from this to this because you got to learn the vibrato with these 2 fingers. So that means the last move you're going to pull with this one, right before your vibrato move, you got to switch to this. See that? And you go. You got to practice that little move. Put some tape around these two because you got to learn to keep them together permanently when you do vibrato work. And the thing is, you got to be able to get to that in a moment's notice in the shadow of like a second. Like Flash Gordon fast, you know? See that? See that? That's your exercise. Convert from this, bring it out, bring those in. You know what's nice about vibrato that makes it nicer than bending? Because with bending, you got to hit a pitch to make it sound like it's in the key. But with vibrato, you don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to worry about being in or out of the key. You just yank it. Wherever it lands is fine. However deep you go, it all works, right? Like, or a little. But when you bend, you got to get it to the right spot every single time. So, if you guys aren't masters of bending or vibrato yet and you're still working on it, it is much more, it sounds better when you play with, you know, if someone's going to hear you using vibrato than bending. I never showed anybody my bending till it was top notch. Just never did. Only show people what your best stuff is if you want to look like you know what you're doing. If you go in for a band audition, just play the stuff you know you're really good at it and don't play anything else. Go home and work on it. Go to the woodshed, lock the door, and hammer down, and then bring back new skills the next time you go. But only show what you know. That's a secret of mine. That's the way I always played it, you know. People would say to me, hey, can you play this or that? I'd say, not today I can't, but give me a week or two and I'll do it for you. You know, so just only play what you're really good at. And so that's just how that works. Now, Stevie liked to do these 3-string rakes all the time. Just 3 strings, right? See that? This is an A minor, A, C, E. You're raking it, you're rest stroking. You're crashing into the next string with your pick. You're going to go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. You can't have more than one finger on a guitar, otherwise it's a strum. Even if it's 2 fingers, that's a strum. What makes it a rake is 1 finger at a time. That's what makes it a part of the arpeggio. And then rest stroking here without ringing into the next string. So I'm just giving you the heavy mute so you can see the motion, but it's... If you get daring, you can do that. Bring the pull off to the A. Bring it back. Go for the A minor 7 if you want. Go for the A suspended 2. Or the A add 2, let's say, because we're using the C. You can go for the B. Go from the B to the C. If you want to be badass, slide her all the way up. So we go. A lot of things you can do here with just staying in this one box. I haven't even left this box yet. There's just so much to do here. But if I was going to leave just for now, I wouldn't go very far. I'd slide right over to mine now. So I'll say our because it's my favorite spot too. Try some. You guys could try some creative things like not using a pick. Oh yeah, by the way, Stevie loves these double stops. And Mezzi loves the vibrato. I love flutter, by the way. And butter. I don't use margarine. I like butter and flutter. But I don't eat the Nutter butter because I only eat good stuff. But there's the vibrato with some flutter. And I get the flutter by hooking my fingers like this, and then I cup the bar so I have space between my finger and my hand, and this space in between is where I rock the bar back and forth like this. From the finger to the hand, from the finger to the hand. See? So I don't think I can even show you the actual motion, but let me see, maybe like this. But so I'm going from this to that, this to that. So like from here to there, I'm doing that. But I'm doing it back here. I'm going like this, like figure like this, right? And this is the bottom, that's the top. Follow me? Top, bottom, top, bottom. I'm going like this. Top, bottom, or top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom. So I'm going that while I'm playing. So I got to play. And then I take my pinky and I might gently grab it and do a little thing with it. Like I might grab it and flick it a little bit. A little flick in there too. I've spent thousands of hours with this bar, just like Dime did, because I worshipped that guy's playing when I was a kid. He came out when I was in high school, and I worshipped him. And I can believe me, dude. I've met him a bunch of times. He was awesome. I cried for a very, very, very long time when that dude passed away. Then when he was 10 years after he passed away, I don't know, I got into a mood one day and I just cried again. Like I just got all upset all over again that he died. I was just like, the whole thing just hit me again and I just mourned it all over again. But I really loved his playing. He was my favorite metal player of all time, and I studied him more than anybody. And so, without actually sounding like him, that's what great players do. They influence off of people without actually sounding like them. And so I just that's the way it is for me. He was my guy. Even his early stuff before with Terry Glaze and before they got signed, just incredible independent albums, absolutely stunning. Absolutely just incredible stuff. So a lot of my whammy bar stuff comes from what he was. I used to do all the Van Halen stuff, and then Dime came out, and I was like, holy cow, like a whole nother way to use the bar. I could not believe it, because like here I am like loving Zach's playing, but the man don't play a bar. So I got used to his pentatonic moves, and just he didn't have a bar, but. So I'm thinking, like, there ain't nobody out there with a bar anymore. I'm the only, I go out there and on the scene and nobody's playing nothing that anybody's using the bar. I'm like one of the only guys I see because, Eddie Van Halen's doing his thing. But locally and here on the East Coast, nobody was doing it a lot. And then when he came out, I was like, wow, I'm not the only guy, And then I saw all the new things he was doing. I was like, holy cow. So I'm not going to lie. I don't use his pedal because I don't want to sound like him. I got my own secret weapon that I use, and that's just the way that is. So everybody will develop their own secret weapon sooner or later, but that's mine. So I got my own sound, and that's what it is. My own box, let's say. But anyway, that is the style of Stevie Ray, and Dime loved him too. I think there was a couple of pictures of him. Maybe I think I saw. I've seen pictures with Dime with so many players that were his heroes growing up. So I think I might have one of that. But I want to say that he was a fan of Stevie's. Certainly sounded like it when you look at the way he plays Planet Caravan. He plays it very much like a Stevie would play it, not so much the way Tony would play it. So there's that. Planet Caravan is just, if you haven't heard it, the Pantera version. My God, like. Every now and then it's hard to say it. It's hard to say, like, hey, the band redid the song and it's better. But sometimes you can say it, and it's like, I don't know. Like, I'm never going to take anything away from the Black Sabbath version because without it, there'd be nothing. But just being that it was 1990, not 1968 or 70, that the quality of the recordings were different, the quality of the amp, the way they record the amps are different. Dimes, to me, his sound was more the way I would play it, because you can't play it. You don't want to play it exactly like the other guy. There's no point of tracking it then. There's no point of doing it, right? You got to show your own way of doing it. So I would do it more like the way Dime did. So I just happened to like their version of it and thought it was incredible. And so if you haven't heard Planet Caravan by Pantera, I know you may know the song, Sabbath song. Yeah, I heard Sabbath do it. But man, you got to go listen to Pantera do Planet Caravan. Just like if you like Deep Purple and you love the way they do, you love their song Child in Time, you must, oh my God, you must hear Mark Bowles and Yngwie Malmsteen do that song. They just smoked the original version. I'm sorry to say it, but it does. And I gotta say it, just it does. It's just like watching Van Halen play You Really Got Me versus the original. So you guys know what I'm saying. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking around. It's been a good time helping you guys out. It's great getting to see what you're all doing. Thanks for viewing my my methods of madness here. And I don't know, just give me a comment on what you want to see in some more videos. I'm trying to come up with some new content because I'm 170 deep and I don't know what to do. So I'm coming up with whatever I can. So it'll be about any artist if I can come up with something, or if it's a new technique, I'll try to show you something. But leave me comments of what you want to see, and then if I do the video on your comment, I'll try to remember you and put you and mention your name and your email, your tag there, whatever you got going on. All right. So thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe if you like this goofy channel. You will learn to play something a little better than you did before, I hope. Anyway, if not, I don't know that I'm doing something wrong. But have a great time. I'll see you in the next video.